extension cord. This is ridiculous. Hello everyone, we are back. It's been a while, huh? We've had quite the winter of illness, but we're kind of on the upswing now, and there is something that we ordered about 4 months ago that'll hopefully be showing up on our channel quite regularly that is now ready for pickup. So we are going on an Escapade, and the weather is not ideal for it, but we were scheduled for this weekend to go pick it up, so that's what we're going to do. As you can see, the roads are a little bit snowy, a little bit slushy. It is kind of cold right now, but we're going to make it there. We're taking back roads, US 6 mostly across to Illinois, and then we'll head north from there because we get better gas mileage and it's a prettier drive on these backcountry roads than the turnpike and such. So I think we're going to do that. It's going to take a little bit longer that way, but it also means a better drive. And so we've got Toast in the back seat with us here. We got True over here playing with his new drill. Jen's starting off driving. I'll be driving a little bit later.
Chicago.
Yeah, I'll be driving through Chicago. But will you come on an Escapade with us and see what we got? Well, you may remember I said we were going on an Escapade, and check it out. We came to Escapade. So what did we get? I'll show you right here. We got the... Okay, so we have the Backcountry, the Escapade Backcountry X in tow behind us. I got us through Minneapolis. We stopped in, I think it was Hudson, Wisconsin, a place called Lolo American Kitchen. Excellent food. I got the ahi poke, and Jen got chicken tacos with all sorts of good stuff. They were excellent.
Very good.
True got a bacon wrapped hot dog that looks pretty good. So if you're ever around the Wisconsin-Minnesota border right near Minneapolis, highly recommend Lolo's American Kitchen in Hudson, Wisconsin. Very good. We are on our way to, I think we're going to be spending the night tonight at Black Hawk Memorial Park as long as it's open. It looks like it's not closed seasonally, so we should be able to stay there. We'll get the camper set up, and I think we'll be in sub-20 degree temperatures tonight. It's right around 20 degrees. So we'll see how this thing does. It is fully insulated. We do have a little buddy heater with us, so we won't freeze. And we'll just see how it goes from there. And similarly, Jen is driving, pulling the trailer down the interstate. She's doing good. She's had to pull out of a couple parking lots, and she was a little nervous at first, but she's doing well. I just kind of pointed out that she's driven over 100 miles and hasn't crashed her truck.
I promise y'all I don't typically crash my truck.
Okay, Wisconsin. I'm sorry, I did not give you enough credit. The Western Highlands and Baraboo Range and stuff. Wisconsin has some beautiful areas that I never would have suspected would be here. This has been a very nice drive. Okay, so first night experience. True was a little bit freaked out sleeping somewhere like that. He hasn't experienced anything like that before. Come on, Toaster. Toaster slept just fine. It is currently 10 degrees out, and we had the little buddy heater that would kind of kick on and off through the night, and the camper stayed nice and warm. We had to have the vent on top open. There's a fan with 10 speed settings, and so we had that on like 1 or 2 depending on whether the little buddy was running. But we tried to pull into a campground last night. Nothing online said it was closed, but when we got there, They had every campsite blocked off with cut up logs, so I'm guessing they were closed for the season. So we ended up boondocking at Cracker Barrel at about 10:30, and True was very done. That's 2 very long days in the Jeep. But this was kind of also not only a trip to pick up the camper, it was a trip to do a shakedown run and see how True would handle long journeys, because this is the start of, not exactly the start because we've done it before with just Jen and I, but as a family, this is the start of our overland adventures. And in about a month and a half, we're doing a 15-day journey in a loop around the southeast, including starting in Ohio, and then West Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and back up to Ohio. So that's going to be a long trip, but hopefully when we do that, we're not doing like 14-hour days, 500 miles in the Jeep. So if True handled this journey as well as he has, I think that'll go good. As for the camper, as for the insulation, did pretty well. I had a little bit of a cool breeze coming in around my back, right around this door. Jen said the other door didn't, but it wasn't bad. For being 10 degrees out, we stayed fairly comfortable. Granted, we had lots of blankets and sleeping bags with us and stuff. So that is our first night. We'll show you in a little bit what that is, but first we're gonna get some breakfast and then we're gonna get home. Well, here it is. I'm just gonna start a quick little walk around, and then we'll get into some of the details of first impressions, what we ordered, what we didn't, what some options we knew were. But I don't know how much that's going to help you guys, because Escapade is now officially out of business. We were one of the last builds they did. I do believe they had a couple after us, maybe, but I'm not 100% on that. So I actually have that port open right now because we just pulled it around from the back where it was plugged in. But this is it, the Escapade Backcountry X package. And the Backcountry is off-road capable. The X is a little bit higher, a little bit heavier axle-less suspension, slightly larger tires. We got the Falcon Wild Peak. If any of you guys know my TJ, you know that those are pretty much my favorite tires. They have never failed to impress me. So let's get into some of the details here. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Backcountry, the Escapade Backcountry X. We've got the X package, so that means it comes with 235 85/16 Falcons. That's almost the equivalent of a 32-inch tire. Very similar to what I have on my TJ, much narrower though. Here's a Timbren axle-less suspension, so pretty much most of the way, other than just a little bit right here, what you see here is actually the clearance. So this thing actually has better clearance than most of our Jeeps do. The only concern we have is pulling this with the Gladiator. The Gladiator's already got a long tail shelf. Now we've got to add all of that from this axle to the hitch up to the front tire. That's a big breakover, so that could cause some problems for us in this coming trip in just a couple of weeks. But we've got some things here that should make the trip a lot better too. For example, this awning. This awning takes, well, it took me a few minutes to find all the pieces because some of them were inside in a package still, and I hadn't figured that out before I started. But if I were to close this up and do it again, it'd probably take me less than a minute to open it up. It is actually fully self-suspended, so these two legs, I don't know if they're on your screen or not, but those, they don't need to be out. The thing will hold itself up. They're recommended, and tie downs are recommended for high wind days. The one thing they say is try not to set it up during high wind, but it has been actually tested in high winds up to pretty severe numbers, though I don't have that off the top of my head. This awning is the Overland Systems, OVT, Overland Vehicle Systems, OVS, and it's the 270 Batwing awning. So I think it's like 125 square foot under shade here, which will be nice. There is one solar panel on the top. I believe it was a 125, 150, maybe it was 100, but I think it was 125 or 150 solar panels. And from what I was told, testing has shown that runs pretty well what we've got in options with this, plus some charging of cameras, of phones, of GPS, etc. And probably the biggest draw on that we have is the ARB fridge freezer that we've got in the back, which we'll show you here in a minute. On the front here, you'll see the toolbox that is a lockable toolbox. That's where the 12-volt battery, deep cycle battery is. And then we'll probably put a lot of our gear in there to get it out of the bed of the truck. I'm not sure exactly what. We've still got, we've only got a couple weeks to do it, and I've been working like crazy lately. That's why it's actually been several weeks since we picked this up, and we still haven't gotten this video up. Partially because we had recorded a walkthrough. The winds were crazy. We've had tornadoes here. We've had massive winds constantly outside on the storm over and over again. And it's just been very difficult to record this video. Now we got a nice day. It's 80 something degrees, so I'm enjoying this shade, I'll tell you that. I just checked all the fluids, changed the oil, checked the tires, rotated tires, got everything ready. Got everything ready on the Gladiator essentially for this trip with a final once-over. I'd like to do a once-over a little closer to the trip, but I don't honestly believe I'm going to have time between now and then, so while it was due for an oil change, before we go inside and show you what's inside, let's talk about the outside somewhat. One of the great things about this one is it's a one-piece fiberglass shell on top. So that means we don't have any seams other than where there are the doors, the fans, the screws, bits and whatnot. There are no seams that go all the way along with this. It's a lot less cost to have to deal with, a lot less potential for leaks. And maybe I'll give some quick shots of that before we go inside and put them in here. So yeah, here you can see actually how this is being the one piece. There are no seams along there. The bottom is raptor lined, so all this black you see here in a cool kind of mountain pattern is raptor liner. The same stuff I used on my Jeep. It's a bed liner, kind of like Line-X, kind of a do-it-yourself version of Line-X, but it also means that it's a lot of protection against scrapes and rust. I would like to, before this trip, I would like to build an entire set of skid plates for underneath, but honestly, I don't think I have the time to even go pick up the steel, much less weld it up. So we're risking it on this trip because we're going into some blind areas. I'm not exactly sure what we're getting into. So this was another one of our selling points. I've actually got a locking pin in it right now, just so no one could come up and easily take it. They'd have to saw through this thing. But this is not the pin. It doesn't actually fit with the thing, so I've got another pin for it. But this is the lock and roll hitch, so it's got a full swivel this way, and then the truck has a full swivel that way. So basically you've got entire articulation, helps with that off-road ability. There are a few different types of off-road trailer hitches, and this was the one we decided to go with. I think this is best suited to our purposes. The thing overall is just under 3,000 pounds. I think it's, well, after it's loaded, it should be just under 3,000 pounds, and the Gladiator, our package, is rated to 6,000 pounds, so we're good there. We opted for the trailer brake package on this camper, so this does have electric brakes. I do not have a brake controller on the Gladiator yet, though I do intend to get one, but I don't foresee it coming and me getting it installed before then, so... Well, we're gonna just count on the Gladiator's brakes to take us through the mountains with a 3,000-pound trailer. Not a huge fan of that, but it's not too terrible. I'll show you around a little more. Here's the sunny side, in case that other video didn't show it really well. Like I was saying about that mountain pattern. It's got a little mountain raptor liner. The doors do have magnets. This side has a 120-volt shore power plug so that you can have the battery charging on top of the solar charge. If you were going to park it for a long period, that'd be the way to go. It does have this extension magnet here so that if you are plugged in and you want to open that door, it's not going to crush your extension cord as it swings open. On the side we've got windows in the doors, open, close. Just like any regular trailer or camper, I guess. You've got the screen door, can be opened up like that. Windows open, closed, even I believe. No, screens do not close or open. So there's that. We got that window opens and closes. It's up to about here, I believe, is that bunk. When it flips down, it might even actually, no, I take that back. When it flips down, it is out to here, so it's actually sticking out past the window, because this is the back of our kitchen galley right here. So he's actually, when Drew's up there, he'll be able to get some fresh air, look out the window, etc. We have method raceline wheels. Did pick up a couple wheel chocks for each side. On this side is a little port. I would have to get the key out for this one to open that up to show you. It's a small port. I throw the wheel chocks in there, and there's still plenty of room, but you're not getting a whole lot in there. And then around the back we have the kitchen galley, which we'll have to show you. And so the kitchen galley does have this latch right here. It swings around to that latch right there and locks in place so it doesn't get caught by a wind. And the hinges are also special hinge that's designed to prevent major swinging with the wind, I guess. Essentially it's like a pressure hinge, so you actually have to kind of force it some. Now let's see here, we've also got the hitch that is not tow rated, plus I don't think anyone's going to be, I take that back, someone would try a double trailer setup, but that is just rated for if you want to haul bikes or storage rack or something of that sort. Now let's see here, it's got the full LED package for lights. And I think that is about all I've got for the outside. Let me see if I can show you that Timbren axle. Okay, so here is the Timbren axle-less torsion system. I don't remember which ones we've got. I believe we've got the ones that are rated to 6,000 pounds. You can see there the trailer brakes as well. Whole underside is solid steel frame. We do have trailer jacks on the back so we can level it out. So you would use the front actual trailer jack to level front to back, and then these rear leveling jacks to level left to right. Well, here's the panel. You can see this is our solar panel right across here. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Solar panel up top. She's a little dusty right now. The vent fan is in the up position right now. When you travel, you want to close that. There is a knob to turn to close that and lock it for travel. There are plates on the inside of this to mount these fenders to the trailer. So these aren't just plastic fenders, they are solid steel. They are weight rated. So the manufacturers told us that Jen and I could both stand on this and jump and it would be fine. So, seriously, it is solid. Excellent way to reach the top if you've got the roof rack. It does have the full roof rack, so eventually we may throw a rooftop tent up there for True. We'll have to see on that, because I don't know, honestly, how the height of this thing, it's just a little bit taller than the Gladiator, how that's going to affect us on trails. And if we make it a little bit taller than that, that could make some of our trails a little difficult. So that'll be something we judge as we go down the line.
Okay, so we're on to my territory, which is the kitchen. I am really excited. This was one of the reasons that we wanted one of these units, was to have a kitchen space. In the past, I've done like a bag that had all the kitchen stuff, and you had to pull everything out and put everything away 3 times a day. It just got to be a lot. So this will be much nicer for only having to access the things I need for that particular meal. Much nicer for getting everything stored and organized, which is huge for me. So, as you can see, we got quite a few shelves here, and I'm working on finding all the bins that I want to fit into here. These are not the permanent bins. These are just to give an idea of what I'll be doing in here. I want to have a place for everything in its place, and everything really organized so it's quick and easy for me to get it out when it's time for me to cook. We've got our fridge freezer here. You do have to choose one or the other, but it'll still help to keep things for a longer time on the road than a typical just cooler would. So the blue knobs here, you just push down and pull out. And then there are two latches on this side to lift it up. And because it's installed, this is only as high as it goes, but that's fine for me because I can reach everything in here without trouble. It does have nice, easy controls on this side so that I can set the temperature to whatever I want. And then it also has a lock, so if you're worried somebody's going to get into your stuff, or if you have a teenager with a bottomless pit, you know, just lock it up and take care of that. So,
and the door has a lock, and the door has a deadbolt too, so you can make sure your food is really secure.
It's very secure. There's lots of storage space back here, so I'm really looking forward to taking advantage of that. And when we're on the road, I'll probably show a little more of how I ended up organizing it. And obviously, I'll probably reorganize it 5 or 6 times before I'm really happy with it, because I am a woman. This is what we do.
Blackstone?
We have a Blackstone and also a double burner that will be stored in here. And so for now, we're going to have a table so that I can pull those items out and do the cooking, cleaning, things like that. But eventually, one of the things that I'm wanting is actually to have a door or a table hung on this door that would allow me to flip it down and have just easy, instant access to a table right there. We'll probably still carry a table with us, but we won't have to get it out for simple meal prep like making a sandwich. I did see it suggested by somebody else who has one of these to get some of the sticky grip liner for shelves so that your stuff isn't sliding around when you're on the road. And since we will be taking this off-road, I did get a bunch of this, and I'm actually going to line the shelves inside the camper as well as these ones out here with this, try and keep things a little more sturdy, stable, and it should make for pretty easy cleanup too if it does get messy in there. Just pick it up and wash it off, put it back. Yes, these two shelves here are Raptor lined, and that would be because you're probably putting burners and things like that on it, and it just helps protect the wood in case that stuff is hot when it goes in, which you really don't want to put it in hot, but should it be a little hot, the Raptor liner will help protect that. Welcome to the inside. Okay, so these are the indoor shelves that I will be putting the rubber liner on for storing our bags and things like that, and I'm actually going to have Whit figure out a bungee system to go across the front to hold things in, because I'll have some bins here for each person to keep their stuff in, and I don't want those bins falling out every time we go somewhere. The bottom area is going to be great for putting our shoes and stuff at night so that they're out of the way and they're not making a mess.
We did actually get the little foam mats like you would put in a home gym. Yeah, and we did that and layered the whole bottom with that for extra insulation so that we've got just a little bit more down there under us to protect from cold and heat.
One more thing I'm hoping to get done before we do this trip is actually I bought blackout curtains, and I'm going to cut them and sew them so that they are just bigger than these windows, the two side windows and then the two door windows, and I'm going to put Velcro on them so that I can just stick them up, and I'm hoping to have that done before this trip, so I'll be able to show you more of that when we're on the road. But otherwise,
it's got two interior lights connected to the battery system, so there's another one right up here above you. And up here we've got the 120 volt, two 120 volt plugs. We've got 3 USB outlets, and we've got, I take that back, we've got 4 USB outlets and a 12 volt outlet too. They can all be turned on and turned off. That actually turns, I believe, the whole inverter off so that you're not getting a drain. It's got a volt check there, and in the solar charger in the kitchen, you can actually check voltage as well. So that way, if you start seeing that voltage drop, you can tell that your battery is starting to drain. This is off. That fan's going. It's on low right now.
This exhaust fan can adjust quite a bit. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over the fan, actually. It got quite loud. But it can adjust quite a bit from just low enough to suck the heat out to high enough to really draw in some cool air through the windows at night. Which is going to be great for us because we are both always hot, and Whit can't sleep without a fan.
Yep. We also have little camp fans that are battery charged, so we can run those too for some extra airflow. As I mentioned before, this pad here can be folded up into a couch, so we've got floor space, we've got couch space. Let's turn this camera around and show you the bunk. Okay, I am in a small space here, so pardon my awkwardness, but this has 2 latches, and they're a little bit tight up in here, which is okay, because if they weren't, it'd be bouncing around on the trail a lot, and over time would damage stuff. But as it folds down, now True's got a bunk. We can put our feet in under there. He rolls off, he's going to break our knees. But
I don't think the child is heavy enough to break our knees.
he's got a good sight out both windows, good airflow, especially if we have that vent going. Overall, I think this is going to work out for our uses. What do you think?
I think this is going to be great.
So, we have a trip coming up here very shortly. We're going to explore some of Ohio, some of West Virginia, some of Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia, Tennessee, and Kentucky. All of the Southeast pretty much, except for Florida and South Carolina. And it's about 2,000 miles I've got mapped out. So part of this is preparing for, in a couple weeks, we are starting a big overland trip about 2,000 miles across Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and back into Ohio. It's, I think, going to be 15 days we'll be pulling back into town. So we've got a VRBO rented in Highlands, North Carolina for 2 nights, sorry. But other than that, mostly dispersed camping, a couple campgrounds, and I think one night we have the potential for a hotel depending on how we're doing. But overall, this I think will be suited to our uses. One of the problems I have, one of the worries I have is that I'm going off of a bunch of mapping that we're running into blind, and we might be coming into areas that are so overgrown this can't make it. We might be coming into areas with turns that are just too tight to haul us around. We might be coming into areas that are just so caked with that thick clay mud that we can't pull through. We've got winches. My dad's coming with us with his Rubicon, so hopefully we should be okay, but this is going to add an extra challenge. It'll also take care of some challenges.
Yes. In the past, when we've done overland trips, if we pulled into a campsite really late, in the past, when we've done overland trips like this, if we pulled into a campsite really late, it was hard to be able to get the tent set up, get all of our gear unpacked out of the truck, packed into the tent, get ready, and then we would still have to set up the kitchen, make dinner. So it would be very late and very dark by the time we were cleaning up dinner and trying to go to bed. Whereas with this, we can pull in and we're already set up. We don't have to do anything to get ready for bed. We don't have to unpack everything in the truck. We don't have to set up a tent. We don't have to set up the kitchen. It's just all really easy set up for us, which will make it so much easier with a toddler in tow, who is not going to tolerate us being distracted when he's tired and ready for bed. What toddler is. Another thing that this is going to allow is that with Whit being a lineman that goes on storm sometimes, if he goes on a long storm, I could hook up this camper and go somewhere close to where he's at, which would allow us to do a little, True and I, to do a little bit of traveling here and there on our own, and also to see Whit for if he's gone on storm for like 3 weeks. We would be able to go and see him a little bit during that time.
Potentially, even if you're doing that, could bring cases of water to people in need.
Yeah.
Bring shelf-stable foods for people and stuff, because you pull into these areas and there are so many people that just don't know what to do.
Yeah. So it will not only be great for our overlanding adventures, but it'll also be good for just life in general, and especially because we love to go out and explore. We love to see different places, and it can be prohibitive when you have to get hotels or you have to plan for the tent and all of the things, especially if I'm doing it just me and True. So this is going to open up so much opportunity for us, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and I know that Whit's nervous about all the opportunities we have to get into trouble on this trip, and I just think it's a wonderful adventure. We don't know what we're going to find, and whatever it is, we'll deal with it when we come to it.
I mean, it's obviously very new for me to be nervous on one of these trips, because Jeeps don't get stuck, and I'm used to driving Jeeps that I just know are going to take me everywhere.
I can still say that I have never gotten this Jeep stuck.
No, I might have, but I was trying obstacles that I knew I shouldn't do too, so. To be fair, if you had been driving when Evan was driving, you'd have gotten it stuck.
I don't know. We'll never know.
Nope. We have lifted a little higher since our UP trip. We've put on bigger tires, so the Gladiator actually has, I would say, about 2 to 3, 2.5 more inches of breakover clearance, as well as probably almost 3 more inches of exit clearance. But I don't know how much that's going to help with the trailer hooked on the back. I'm glad we have it. I would be a little concerned if we were at the old height and pulling a trailer.
I think it's going to be a great adventure. And with that, the next video you see will probably be our adventure. We're excited to take you guys along for the ride, to give a really great review of this camper that we're already super excited about, and to also fill you in on the next adventure, because we have more planned. Well, guys, thank you for coming along for the camper tour and the adventure that we have coming up.
Thanks for watching, y'all. The Lord bless you and keep you.